My name is Bruce Lim and welcome back. Welcome back Zoom, welcome back Unify. That's the wonders of technology. And speaking of technology, today we are going to be on this very, very interesting topic of cryptocurrency, which is a form of blockchain. Even the name cryptocurrency sounds mysterious, but we have got two experts today that's going to explain to us exactly what cryptocurrency is and what's its use to us today. Yeah, so our special guests, let me introduce them. They say ladies first. So this lovely lady with us is Joceline Leong. We call her JC or Joceline Coco. Welcome. She is part of the Malaysian Entrepreneur Development Association, or POMM. That's where I knew Joceline. We went to University of California, Berkeley around in 2018. And Joceline, on a professional side, she's a serial entrepreneur. Yeah, serial entrepreneur, having built her business in Malaysia's Airbnb business and many things else. And because of that, she has gotten into property investments and into a bit of equities or stock market trading. And I saw that she has started trading on cryptocurrency. Was it Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'm not so sure. We're going to ask you. So let's give a warm welcome to JC. Welcome, JC.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Bruce.
Okay, welcome. Thank you. And a man whom I will introduce as the young CEO and the young Chief Technical Officer of Tokenize Exchange, Mr. Hong Chi Yu, or we call him QY. Now, Chi Yu is voted as one of 40 under 40 by Malaysian business. So this young man is very successful. You know, he's successful when he is below 40, one of the top 40 young entrepreneurs we have from Tokenize Exchange, a Singapore company, but I know QY, you are like us, a Penangite. So Penangite here, Joceline, a Penangite as well, and Chi Yu, Penangite. So all islanders. Islanders or mainland?
Mainland.
I'm from you're from mainland.
Hey, you're from mainland also.
No, I'm from the island.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Chi Yu has been 5 years in cybersecurity engineering with Siemens and large companies such as Standard Chartered. He raised $3 million Series A for a fintech company, and having received numerous awards in MeanStack, and now he has had his startup, which is Tokenize Exchange. And Tokenize is one of the two legitimate digital assets financial platform, which means you can trade crypto on only two platforms in Malaysia that is recognized by the Securities Commission. So Tokenize Exchange is one of them. And you were given conditional approval sometime mid last year, and you went live this year on the 1st of May, just last month, a little over a month ago. Congratulations, Chi Yu, on Tokenize's achievements.
Yeah.
And welcome to the program. That's a very, very long introduction. So great. So now the topic of cryptocurrency. Some say that cryptocurrency will be a game changer. Cryptocurrency is going to drive governments away. Cryptocurrency is going to make banks irrelevant. Financial institutions will be completely disrupted because of cryptocurrency. Whereas others, even like the so-called the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, he dismisses it as a sham. He says it's a fad, it will not last. So you either love cryptocurrency or you hate cryptocurrency. Yeah, some even call cryptocurrency some form of a money game. So I don't know much about cryptocurrency, And if you viewers don't know, we have got experts in the form of Chiu, who is going to explain to us right now. I've got people who told me they made so much money on crypto, and we have heard of news of people losing money because of crypto. I'm not so sure. Perhaps you can explain. So Chiu, let's get the ball rolling. You cannot deny that whether you love crypto or not, the global digital asset market has grown by 34.1% and is expected to grow further because it has 1.24 billion in 2018. In 2024, it is expected to grow to 6.9 billion. So it looks like a high growth thing. But what is cryptocurrency actually, and how is it related to blockchain? Simple question. Chiu, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Bruce, for your great introductions. Really appreciate that. I just want to share, before I answer Dr. Bruce's question, just want to clarify that actually at this juncture, there are 3 platforms that is being recognized by the Securities Commission of Malaysia, and we are very fortunate to be one of them. And we managed to, after almost 10 months of hard work, on the 1st of April, we go live fully with the blessing of Securities Commission of Malaysia. Just want to share that. Yeah, I think the key things, maybe I will kick start, this topic with recently, I think JP Morgan, if you remember back to 2 to 3 years ago, their CEO actually, criticized heavily on our industry, on cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. But if you check on the news last month, very surprisingly, they are now taking a very proactive action. They are actually on board, the cryptocurrency exchange in US, such as Coinbase, one of the largest, and Gemini, which is run by the twins, which involved in the Facebook lawsuit previously with Mark Zuckerberg. So this is a very, very interesting time, which I think, even banking, the big banks are actually embracing this, and we are at a very, very exciting time. And there is one very, very interesting report, where most of the traders will actually refer to core commitment of traders, which heavily describe whether banks are buying or selling different type of asset class. And surprisingly, since 2017, since CBOE and CME in December 2017, they start launching these kind of products to the public. The banks, normally the institutions, never actually taking any stance, for any positions in Bitcoin, especially, right? But for last month, start on 12th of May, if you have a look on the website, we start to see some position, some entry from those banks to take, to long some Bitcoin. So I think we are in a very interesting time, and we have more factual evidence that even the institution right now is embracing this, right? And to start, to really share in a short paragraph how I really view Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I really see this like the next internet. Internet is so important right now.
Sorry, Chiu, I really have to apologize for cutting you off a little bit, but you're already a bit too advanced for us. You're already, especially for me.
Sure.
Okay, can you just explain to us, ordinary people? Yeah. You are at this level.
Yeah.
We are just about to know. I'm trying to connect to our viewers there. Yeah. What exactly is cryptocurrency, and how does it work?
Currency.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
how is it different?
Cool.
Because we know currency as money. Yeah, we know currency as money. And how is crypto, your token, going to be an alternative to money?
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand. Yeah, sure. So if you see, like what Dr. Bruce says is on currency, is what we mean by money. But if you take the front part of crypto means that cryptography is it means that secure, right? This is the secure, it's a form of secure of money, if I may put it this way, right? The key thing is if you take a step back, it's simple, right? Today we have bank account, right? And if you want to access bank account, definitely, the applications will be much more secure compared to a normal application. I will put it this way, right? So, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Dr. Bruce.
Okay, so you are saying that if I want to transact internationally, I want to pass to somebody, I want to give money to you, but I can't physically give that money to you. All right, I can't really give you that value. So I use the bank, who is a middle person, to pass that money over to you because I trust the bank. Right? I trust the bank that
but now that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot on. But I think Dato is coming to a very interesting point. But what if I tell you right now, right? If you don't need a middleman right now, you don't need to trust someone, and we can achieve the same process, right? That actually, you know, that is the essence of blockchain and it's the essence of cryptocurrency, right? So for the past, we always have this kind of thinking that we have to, if you want to transfer money, let's say from Malaysia to US, right? We have to go through banks. We have to go through someone, you know, a trusted party. But nowadays, you know, with blockchain technology, which, you know, the first project is Bitcoin, you are actually able to, through this technology, to transfer the same value of money to US. I think, and that's actually the interesting part and the essence of Bitcoin.
How am I going to transfer to somebody in US?
You know, saw that kind of potential.
Right. How am I, Chiyu, I still don't get it. How am I going to transfer something to the US without going through an intermediary? How does the blockchain technology enable this?
Great. That's a very, very great question. So imagine we take a step back. Imagine for the past, right? We have to trust the bank, and the bank keep, you know, server. They keep ledgers, right? You know, and we trusted them, and they facilitate this. And even banks, you know, banks of Malaysia have to work according to a system with the bank in US, right? To facilitate this kind of transfer, right? But to put it in short, we trust the bank, and, you know, bank internal, they have a system to work this out. But what if we take the bank out of the whole higher level picture? It's only, let's say Dr. Bruce right now is at US, and I'm actually in Malaysia, and I want to transfer something to Dr. Bruce. So through this blockchain, I'm able to transfer this thing called Bitcoin from my wallet, from my place, to Dr. Bruce. And then you will ask further, how does this really work? How can we really trust this, right? So that's the interesting part about Bitcoin and the underlying technology, which is blockchain. Literally imagine, previously we have to trust one party where they keep a ledger. Now with this technology, right, they are a community that keep the same ledger. So let's say if me or you try to change the data inside the underlying technology, immediately the majority who keep this ledger, right, will invalidate it. Yeah, I hope I'm not going too deep. So far, I hope you still haven't lost me.
Okay, I'm with you right now. So for the guys out there, if I were to send money to YC, to QY, if I send money to QY, and QY would say, prove to me that you have sent money to me, right? So what I will do is I will usually print a bank slip, a bank statement that shows that I have sent money to QY's account. I print that bank slip out digitally or whatsoever, and I show it to QY. So whether the bank does it or not, we've just got to trust that middleman who is the bank. Whereas in the case of a cryptocurrency, you don't need that bank to do it for you, because whatever you transact, that ledger or that piece of document is available somewhere in the World Wide Web, and it is encast in stone, in digital stone somewhere, and everybody has a copy of it. So did Bruce send QY money? Just refer to that encasted ledger. So you don't need the bank, because everyone has a copy of it. You just refer to it. I can't change it. You can't change it. It's immutable. Is that how I understand it?
Right.
So crypto is this magic of blockchain, is this magic that casts things in stone, makes it immutable, makes it checkable, and no one can cheat each other. And you don't need that middleman to create that trust anymore. Okay, Next question. And
yeah,
probably,
Dr. Bruce, I can say that you are pretty close to that. Yeah.
all right, that's my understanding as an amateur. Now, we have also heard, okay, we know blockchain can be used for many things, but there's no denying the biggest and the most popular use of blockchain has been in crypto. I've got a question. I've heard of Bitcoin. I've heard of Ethereum. There's also that currency involving the dog. I've read about Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew having currency involving a horse, and there are many other animals and things that comes with it. What's the difference between these different types of currency? Can you explain in layman's term and probably give some examples and parallels to the world that we are used to in the past, since the day we were born?
Definitely. I think I'm really surprised Dr. Bruce actually pushing so fast to this question, but that's very interesting. I think, from what we discussed from the essence of the blockchain and Bitcoin, there are more projects after that, after Bitcoin inceptions that evolve. And one of the very interesting, if you may let me share, is Ethereum, which is currently the second biggest cryptocurrency. So what literally it does is like Android. I believe Android or iOS is something we're so familiar with, right? And literally we go and download different apps. Like recently, because of this COVID, we have contact tracing app, right? We have so many different apps that help us. Even we need to, if you want to get our food, we use food delivery. Right. Even nowadays, before COVID, if you want to transport, take ride hailing, we have Grab. You also using app. So just imagine that in our blockchain or your cryptocurrency, we have this coin called Ethereum, where this project is actually helping different business owner or different project to able to create similar app. Just imagine another analogy like similar app inside it, so that you don't need to, if you want to develop app, you just develop app, right? You don't need to create another Android, you don't need to create another iOS to achieve the same thing, right? You can just literally leverage on Android or iOS, and this is what happening on Ethereum, right? Then from there you have different coins like Dogecoin will be another similar project where they limit and they want to be they want to make a joke of Bitcoin, but we have different other coins right now. We see, I think in 1.7 is big. We saw 3,000 different projects leverage on Ethereum, create different token, and this token can just create that in a few minutes time. So that's the fantastic thing. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. You can just create tokens, but I just can't create money out of nothing, right?
Yeah. Right.
So these digital currencies. Two questions. The first one, I'm still not very clear.
Yeah.
The difference between Ethereum, Bitcoin, and a token that I can just create out of nothing. What is the difference in value? And how do you see the difference in value? Why is Bitcoin valued at a certain amount versus the dollar, for example? And why is Ethereum valued much higher than a coin that I created out of nothing using blockchain technology?
Yeah, I think that is a very brilliant question, right? I think Bitcoin, you just imagine it's the mother coin because they are the first project, right? They show to the people that this project, what is the conceptualized idea look like, and then people get inspired. When people get inspired, just like let me take an example, just like when iPhone is in the market, right? Everyone is so shocked when Steve Jobs first time take out, the smartphone, which is the touch screen phone, right? Everyone get inspired, like the arrival of Bitcoin. But after that happened, right, there are a lot of company, we can talk about Samsung, we can talk about different branding. They start to compete, they start to copy, they start to evolve. But they're also doing a smartphone. But what is the differences here? They want to be faster, right? They want to have more memory space, right? They want to have more powerful camera, right? Same thing in this coins world, we call token world, right? After Bitcoin, they realized that, for one transaction, it took like 30 minutes. Sometimes, it took 1-2 hours. It's expensive, it's slow, it's not scalable. There are a lot of argument then. So there are more projects right now, after that Litecoin, after that Ethereum, after that this and that. They are trying to be much a better version of Bitcoin. That's what happened, yeah.
That's from the technology standpoint, right? how this crypto are supported from a technical perspective in terms of speed, in terms of convenience, in terms of and all that. But what about from the economic standpoint?
The value.
We know cryptocurrency are currencies, right? You can exchange these tokens for something valuable. I've got a watch over here. I want to buy this watch. I can actually use these tokens. They have value to exchange with it. So how did, so I would imagine, if I may, to draw a parallel, okay? The different currencies there are right now is equivalent to the Japanese yen, the US dollars, the Chinese renminbi, and the Malaysian ringgit, each one backed by their own system. Is that a fair analogy?
I think, Dato, that's definitely one of the perspectives, and it's very, very fair. But if you may allow me, I would like to open another perspective. Is also, don't forget about commodities, because before fiat, okay, I'm not going to do that, but I just want to introduce. Just imagine before dollars, before Japanese yen, we are at we once at an era that we are using gold. If we can remember, gold, the coins is crafted by gold, silver, bronze, right? We are once at that era, right? Then we shifted to this kind of paper, backed by GDP, backed by country kind of economic system. So if you take a step back and we use that, gold to relate that Bitcoin, it will make more sense, right? Because if you see gold, maybe I will ask back Dato, what do you think gold? How we can determine intrinsic value of gold? Dato, maybe you want to share some perspective, like what you think about gold?
Value is always, it depends on demand, how it's always equated with how much someone is willing to pay for it, right?
Exactly, right.
Correct.
So we are getting there, right? So if you take a step back and see gold is simple, right? If you say, it's not backed by any country, it's really through supply and demand, right? And Bitcoin actually very, very similar. That's why it actually has another title that the industry, label it as a digital gold, right? The unique thing about gold, if you realize, and I think this is the part that we can make most sense of, is that most of the country led by US now is doing unlimited quantitative easing. Another word to it means print money, right? They keep print money to save the economy, right? When we are in this environment, I think for me as a consumer or as a just a lay people or citizen, I feel very scared, right? Because when the too much money, is being pumped into the market, right? My money will devalue, right? And my purchasing power will decrease. So for me, I will even like during my parents' era, right? When they see economic uncertainty, they will rush to buy gold. Because why? Gold, there is a limited supply. You can't create gold from thin air. There's a maximum quantity there. And when it comes to Bitcoin, surprisingly, right, the inventor of the Bitcoin, he considered this element. So there's only 21 million Bitcoin in this world. So it's a limited supply too. So with more demand, with time evolve, like maybe through these sessions, I'm able to let another 10% understand, or maybe 50% understand. There are more adoption, right? Then there are more demand with a limited supply, right?
Thank you so much for that observation, QI. So all right, so we find that crypto is actually it's similar. It has more similarity to gold than the currency that we hold today, because the paper money that we hold today, this is fiat money. If it says Satu ringgit, the governor of Bank Negara says it is 1 ringgit. You bring it over here and I will value it at 1 ringgit. Even if it's rubbish, you send it over there and he will tell you it's 1 ringgit because it is backed by the government. It's called a fiat money. Yeah, you can bring gold. It's a totally different story, because it's not what the government says, it's how the market values it. And the same thing is with crypto, because although it is a chosen action, but it has some form of intrinsic value. But now again, I want to move the question to Joceline. Thank you so much for your explanation, but I think Joceline has been sitting there for some time. I'm going to ask her some question right now. So Joceline, we have now talked about the technical side of crypto, from being a currency that people accept as of value. Right now, you've got different currencies and people start to trade these currencies. Very similar to currency exchange, currency trading, if I may draw a parallel. So how do you see, crypto trading, and how is it different from the more traditional form of trading, stock markets and probably currency exchanges? What is your view, Joceline? Over to you.
Yeah, sure. I always think that cryptocurrency is very unstable right now. It fluctuates a lot, so it is good for traders who do trading quite often. And then for stock market, they always have a certain value that valuate that stock itself. So for crypto, right, sky is the limit. So you can just rise it up to the price that actually surprise them at any time. So, but for stock market, it's very much controlled. I would say like controlled, but for cryptocurrency, you can't imagine what's going to happen next. It's either going up very high or going down very, very, very low.
I mean, this is I've not traded in crypto before, right? But I know in any form of investment, there's always this play of risks versus return. Yeah. So how does crypto, play in terms of risks versus return in your overall portfolio? JC.
Okay, for me, right, because I'm more familiar in trading stock market, so for stock market, I can manage the risk very well. But as for cryptocurrency, since I mentioned that it fluctuates a lot, so I kind of hold it like mid-term rather than I trade it all the time, like every single minute in and out. Because unless you are really a full-time cryptocurrency trader, then there are actually traders who actually trade them in minutes or even seconds. But for me, I would choose to be like mid-term because in long run, right, cryptocurrency is definitely going to go up already because the supply and demand issue, the demand is increasing and the supply is limiting. It's very limited. So that's why I'm seeing the price is going up in the future. But as for if you're looking to trade, then you need to actually pay attention into the news, crypto news. It's just like you're trading stock market. You need to pay attention to the US news, the worldwide news and all. As for crypto, they also have their own, it's like they have their own world, they have their own news and everything. And a lot of people, they are actually following some influencers from Twitter, YouTube, and some news portal. Yeah.
Do you see a future in crypto trading? Because it may be volatile right now, going up and down. It may be risky right now. But if you take a long-term view of it, because if you compare the prices of Bitcoin today from the day it was launched, what's the difference? I'm not so sure. You can see, that's an upward trajectory. Is this a bubble that's going to explode? Or are we just seeing the tip of the iceberg? And that it's still not too late to get in. What are your views, JC? And later on, I would love your alternative view as well. QI. JC, you go first.
Okay, I always think that you are never too late to enter cryptocurrency because when back then I started since 2015. I always thought that, oh my God, I should have got in earlier. And that time it's only like 2,000 ringgit Malaysia per Bitcoin. I bought it around that price. So I always thought that, oh, one Bitcoin, 2,000 ringgit. Isn't it like overpriced? Because you can't see it and then you do not know what you are holding. You are just like, it's not even paper. It's like you can't see anything. And then that time I was thought that I was late, and look at the price right now. It's like 41,000, 42,000, and it was once there was one time that it crawled up to 98,000, right? Till I think it's around that 98,000 Malaysian ringgit.
So that's
I think
80x. Yeah, not a bad return over just a couple of years.
just a few years, yeah.
So
It's
is this a
surprisingly
bubble, or and you just mentioned it's just a tip of the iceberg? You are still holding it, I'm sure. JC.
Yeah, I'm still holding it.
Still holding on.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
great for you. QY, what is your opinion?
I always like to see, although I always thought just like I mentioned about Bitcoin is like digital gold, but I always like to see this like startup perspective, right? Just use it to compare with company like Amazon, Google, or even there are a few other stuff like Amazon, right? They in 2000 I think they are just a normal company like all other company out there, just a normal startup, or maybe branded as a unicorn, right? But compared to today, if you see, over these 20 years, right, they have grown to become one of the very significant company. And I always like to use valuation as a metric to see the projected growth. And if you invested Google when they just listed until now, the return is, we are looking more than 10 times kind of return, right? So if you take a step back and ask why is it so, it's always, more, you're getting more mainstream, you're getting more adoption, you're getting more user. And if you put this back to Bitcoin, right, it's literally the same, right? If you ask why the Bitcoin, will go to the sky, or our industry will use to the moon, right? It's because there are more users with a limited supply, right? And the demand keep increasing, the price will follow. The price will increase also. I think that's the main reason, why I really look good, and I still feel that we are at the very, very early stage. Maybe let me just share this relative figure where, in the world right now, I believe we're only looking less than 2%. Some even say that less than 0.5% of the populations are understand crypto and have access to crypto only. Imagine this percentage going up 10 times more, right? The potential is really, huge.
Hey, Chiu, you love the tech startup. That's why you are in Tokenize exchange. You're hoping that you are just scratching the surface. Yeah. But then again, Amazon, excellent story. Jeff Bezos, he made so much losses in his early years, and no one would imagine he could be one of the first trillionaires on his way to become one of the first trillionaires in this world. Jeff Bezos. That's an amazing story, but it took him a good 20 over years to achieve this. And this recalls something that is often mentioned in the startup community. You have got the valley of death, right? You've got to cross that chasm of doom before that inflection where you have got adoption by the masses. Do you think crypto will cross that chasm of doom? Has it already?
Really like your question.
Yeah. Or will it fall into this huge chasm?
I think this. I really like this question. I think this question really, also can give me an opportunity to ask back Dato this question, right? Because Dato, you have seen so many startups, you have seen so many SME and enterprise. So I just want to, before, maybe I pass back the question to you, I just want to share Bitcoin right now. We are looking at how many, which year are we in? We are looking at the 11th year. So I just want to ask Dato, have you have seen so many startup, company and SME before. If they have survived for past 11 years, normally how they will perform according to the probability and statistic. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so 11 years, you have already had quite some traction already. So I'll give you that.
Exactly. So
your point is we shouldn't question that, the viability of crypto anymore. It is here to stay.
I really believe so. But of course,
also say something.
Yeah, I definitely, when I enter, I think I entered the best time. It's not flip, the most in terms of fold. We are not looking at the early days. I think they flip more than 20 times. I never enjoyed such a high return, but in terms of the figure, when you go to $8,000, which I think Joceline talked about 98,000 ringgit, or might even be more than that. I think I'm at a very, very exciting period when I just enter, and in a very, very short run, I enjoy that kind of huge investment gain. And I'm very lucky. I managed to exit first, but after that I re-entry, right? Because I see this as a long run, a long game. But when I re-entry, I definitely buying at a very huge discount, like 50% discount. You know, still 4-digit kind of US dollar. I already 10,000. I think it's a huge bargain, and I have to breeze through the so-called the winter of this whole industry, right? But taking a step back, I really think that Bitcoin, we are still at the early days, and with even Malaysia, right, the regulators are embracing this. We can see there are huge potential because more countries will follow suit, and this will totally open up, right?
That's right. Malaysia intends, if I read correctly, to issue a lot of digital banking licenses, and this is one of them. The SC is trying to regulate this crypto. China has just launched their crypto, and that really shows a leadership position taken by one of the world's emerging superpowers. So that calls for something. I'll give you that, Chiyu. So now, people trade cryptos. It's only when you trade that you get a value. One of our viewers, Daljit, if you are still there, how do people value crypto? Well, if you value something, you're willing to pay money for it. Yeah, so Joceline paid 2,000 ringgit for it. Today, people are willing to pay 80,000 ringgit for that one particular token. That is how you derive value from it. But now, that brings us to this topic about how you trade. Yeah, that's where Tokenize comes in. How you trade. Because if you want to buy, sell cryptos, you need to go to an exchange, right? Which to me is a marketplace where you can trade. Prior to this, that's when I saw JC. You were saying you were trading on Luno, which is the other exchange. I'm going to mention it. Sorry, it's your competitor, QY. And then prior to this, people are trading on other platforms internationally. Why? How do you trade internationally? And why do we want to have a Malaysian government sanctioned platform? Chiyu. Very quick one.
That's definitely a wow, a very tough question and so far we get. I think another spot on, right? There are so many. I mean, okay, in Malaysia, the lucky thing, I think we are only comparing with the two peers, right? And we really welcome on this kind of healthy competition, right? And I think all our peers doing is really well done. Definitely not an easy one, and so far I think we do a good job. I think one interesting thing that we can see, maybe I thought overall as a regulated exchange market first, as an exchange, is that the regulators really put a lot of thoughts and into how they're going to regulate us. Like maybe I break down maybe to 4 different segments. Right? The first one I must cover, and I think everyone loves it, is insurance. Right? Our exchange, we have insurance. Right? If you have Bitcoin, imagine when Bitcoin back to 100,000 ringgit, and you see you're talking about, wow, this is deposit for property, and how safe are your platform? We have insurance. We have up to 100 million US dollar. Let me emphasize that worth of insurance to cover your digital asset. And the second part is, I think the interesting thing is regulated, right? In Malaysia, I think just coincident, all of us are from Penang. We know that there are so many so-called scam or money game out there. How we know that whether your platform is real or not, right? I think the safest part, the safest indicator is always fall back to the regulators, right? And we are very fortunate being recognized by the Malaysia Securities Commission as one of the 3, fully digital asset exchange. I think this is a very, very strong point, and I really, want to take this chance to emphasize this. And the third one, right? The third one is that if I may allow to share, Malaysia is one of the very leading kind of in terms of the regulation, and I think it's the only one that asks the management of the company in terms of the wallet, because wallet we have like the key, right? To access the digital asset, to access the Bitcoin, right? And we are the only countries that require the management, not only the management to own it, and we require trustee no matter on the ringgit side, right, we need to have a bank custody. On the digital asset side, we also need to have digital asset custody to keep this. So imagine, me, I can't run away with all the customer fund because I cannot do so. I don't have such authority and access. I have to, with another third party kind of custody to transfer this digital asset, to the customer. So I think with all these safe and governance in places, I can be very confident to say we definitely is one of the platform that Malaysia Malaysians should consider.
So you've got your insurance, you have got regulation by Malaysian authorities, and not only are they just Malaysian authorities, it is considered one of the better regulators. What is your view, Joceline, when you trade on crypto? Many years ago, we didn't have Luno, we didn't have Tokenize, or now I just realized there's a third one already. What is the difference that you experience between trading at an international platform outside our shores versus trading in Malaysia? I know you have done Luno. What is the difference? Do you agree with Chiyu that trading in Malaysia, it's more secure, you've got insurance, and all that? What are your views?
Okay, for me, right, it depends what do you want, because if for the Malaysia platform like Luno, they don't really offer a lot of coins, and for Luno itself, they only offer three to four coins. Coming up is the fourth coins, so we only have Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and LTC. But before I use Luno or even Tokenize, I've been using Binance, Poloniex, Bittrex, Huobi, and others platforms. So all these platforms, they are international, it's like out from Malaysia, and they do not get the SC approval in Malaysia. But however, they are very strong and they have been in the market for quite some time. So of course, for traders, you need to be very, very, very familiar with the background of the platform itself, because a lot of platforms are actually scammers. So they actually can take your money and just run away anytime, just declare we are closed and everything, you can't access the platform, and that's all your money gone. So that's the problem, that's the risk that Malaysian may need to face if you are using an international platform like that. But if you are using Luno or Tokenize or some others Malaysia approved platforms, so if like anything happened to your tokens or anything, at least as Chiyu say, you have insurance, or at least you are backed by the bank. So anything you can still refer to SC, or you have someone to refer to. So compared to Binance and all, I love to use, to be honest, I love to use Binance. I love to use all these international platforms. It's just because they actually offer a lot of coins, which is not available in Malaysia platforms. But however, for those Malaysian traders who are going to put a lump sum of money into the platform, I will suggest you to use the Malaysian platform instead. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so the advantages of an international one, you get more coins, but higher risk, because you're at risk to scammers, and the Malaysian one is the other way. So what makes an exchange flourish is, number one, you need to have a variety of coins, if I'm okay to say that, a variety of coins, and number two, you need to have many people participating in this markets. So what do you think of the amount of traders right now in the Malaysian exchange? Chiyu, and what are you going to do to increase it, to attract more people to your marketplace?
I think that is a very good question. I think in Malaysia we are still in very early stage, but definitely we have a lot of enthusiastic traders, and I really believe we have a lot of traders. Like thanks to Dato, I also know about JC. They already they are the pioneers, and they trade the international platform already. So we have a lot of these traders. I think what we need to do that is to let more people to know that there are three regulated exchanges in Malaysia, And of course, Tokenize need to put more effort to create our brand awareness, right? So that they are at least aware. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, right, we are not. We understand that international exchanges are very strong. They have a good branding, but we are not really that concerned. Is because if you want to use ringgit, we know that this is a fact that if you want to use ringgit to trade legally in Malaysia, definitely there are only three choices. I'm really there to say this. And from there, of course, if you want to decide where to trade moving forward, it will really up to your risk management, because we take note regular exchanges always have a risk, right? That's the consequences we really need to consider.
Okay.
Aside of that, I think very fortunate we have SIDC, we have a few government bodies are willing to work with us and to push awareness. I think let's say for the first 1 or 2 years, it's really need a lot of work, really need a lot of education to create this right awareness. Bitcoin is not money game, right? Blockchain is not money game. And what is the proper investment, right? How to invest responsibly. I think that's our roadmap, right, for these few years.
What you say about money game and just telling people you won't get cheated, this takes some time. This will take some time. I mean, those days when we were all talking about online banking, we will say, "Oh, I'm not going to give my credit card. I'm not gonna post my bank account on the internet. It's just unsafe. One day I might just wake up and see all zeros in my bank account. Not additional zeros, but everything turning into zero. But those fears seem to be unfounded, and you see that the adoption of internet banking has just gone off the roof. And is there a parallel to be drawn, with crypto exchanges here as well? Now it says, oh, it's another one, crypto and Tokenize. It's done by someone from Penang. Is it part of a scam? Is it part of a money game? How are you going to get above that? You seem to be fighting many battles, Chiyu, from Tokenize. Number one, public perception that they can't distinguish a proper exchange from that of a scam. Number two, you have got another battle with your immediate competitors, the other two guys that have been sanctioned by the SC to trade on crypto. Number three, you've got a battle on the international front that offers more variety, more coins. Number four, you also have to battle against traditional investments in stock markets, in bonds, and even other say luxury goods, wine and jewelry, gold even, as you mentioned. So many battlefronts. How are you going to sort of punch above your weight and reach that? What is so unique about crypto, and what is so unique particularly about your tokenized exchange that others can't offer?
That is really hard field question, Dr. Bruce. I think this is really made me recall a lot of memories, a lot of tough time. And because I'm not starting this business like this year. In fact, it's way back in 2017. So, and during that time, right, we consider at a phase that we have the biggest adoption already, but it's still not enough to an extent that they are for example, like Grab, right? People in the street right now, you just refer back to them as a ride hailing. We still haven't reached to that phase yet, right? And this is our goal to be the so-called the next Grab. So like, let's say any Malaysian, when they want to buy Bitcoin, they can think about Tokenize, right? I think Dr. Bruce is a really hard field question, and that's very, very true. We have a lot of battle we have to fight. I only can say that nowadays I feel very fortunate, because this battle won't be fought by me alone. I have my team, and very fortunate, I have one director which bring me to know about that. And he's not we call ourselves as new money. It's not from new money, right? It's from old money, and very experienced old money investor. But he is also interested in this, 2 years back. And why is it so? Because I believe this is the future. This is why even today I can be proudly say you, because it's a fact already. Even the JP Morgan, even the Wall Street, they are in this already. So this is not a battle only fight by young kids from Penang anymore. It's a game, right? It's a system. It's a disruptive system that now the Wall Street, now the a lot of financial institutions is looking into it. And the more incredible thing is we have this jargon called CBDC. central bank digital currency, which is led by China. Right? Even a giant country like China are taking this technology so seriously and become the first one to be the first mover in this. It tells a lot of story, it tells a lot of potential, it tells what is this future for, right? And I think it gives me really confidence that we are here today, we are here to win.
Thank you. Let's hear it from one of a very important stakeholder in your ecosystem, traders like JC. Okay, what do you wish that probably rather than Tokenize talking about its advantages, what do you wish exchanges like Tokenize should have so that you are able to place more confidence, more investments, more attention into cryptocurrency and trading on Tokenize as opposed to international? What do you think it takes more in order for you to offload your play in stock markets more into crypto? What will attract you to shift to the new, the so-called new investments? JC?
Okay, so actually just now I need to add on another point, because those international platforms, there is a difficulty when you want to deposit money, especially if you are using Malaysian ringgit, because a lot of my traders, they actually mentioned to me is they are facing problems in depositing money, and then they are also facing problem with withdrawal. So I think probably all these platforms like Tokenize is much better compared to the international platform in terms of for Malaysian to deposit the Malaysian ringgit, as well as to do the Malaysian bank online banking. So I think it's much more faster, efficient, and also much more secure, because compared to some others platforms, there are certain platforms that actually they use some intermediate names, right? Like all those Malaysian names, which could make us you will make the traders to feel worried whether your money is transferred to someone else or to that platform itself. So I think it is always good to have let's say Tokenize is recognized by SC, so it's always good for the government to do something to probably do some marketing, or at least let the public know that our platforms is secure, and then we are backed by who and who. And then also we accept this. Like, you need to tell the whole world, or if not, there's only a small colonies who trade and know about this. The others will just think that it's money game or it's a scam or something like that.
So yeah, so you seem to be one of the early adopters, okay, of cryptocurrency. And how big or small is your group right now compared to mainstream investors? And what do you think should be done, by the government in order to reach out, to give them that sort of assurance? Is enough being done by the government to talk about cryptocurrency? And later I'm going to talk more about the role of government. But what should governments do or what should anybody do in order to propagate trading on cryptocurrency, especially the Malaysian exchanges?
Thank you for the question. Okay, one thing that I need to mention is recently we have been hearing about that Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew, or maybe someone else like Berjaya Times Square, Tan Sri Vincent, they have been launching platforms like this to trade crypto. And then there are also some scammers using their photos and then spamming on Facebook. And then I think all this reaction will make all the people think that actually cryptocurrency is a scam, and we have to avoid from cryptocurrency world. And also because the government didn't do anything on cryptocurrency, I think, because even for me myself as a trader, I don't see much effort putting from the government to acknowledge the public that we are accepting the cryptocurrency. And then how should you invest? Because a lot of people do not know how to buy cryptocurrency. And then they do not know, if you buy a cryptocurrency, what do you own? Like stock market, you can see the counter is in your portfolio. But how about cryptocurrency? Is it the same? or
Yeah.
is it a paper issue or something like this? So people have no idea about what is cryptocurrency at
Correct.
first. So the government also needs to, yeah, I think the government or the related party like Tokenize founders and all, they need to make more article, or maybe a public announcement, or some maybe more than that lah, to make the public aware of what is cryptocurrency, how to, and
Great.
what's the thing they are owning and how secure it is.
Yeah. And that's great what you mentioned, JC, but I just want to make a few clarification. Tan Sri Likim used horse coins or horse tokens, whatever it is. He claims it's backed by Country Heights assets, right? But it's still not traded on Tokenize. Why not? That's a question that I ponder. Number two, Tan Sri Vincent Tan's face has always been used. He has come forward to deny it. I've read it in an article somewhere. So that's not true. That's not his coin. Somebody just uses his face, and it's spamming everyone, including a good friend of mine today. I got spam asking me to buy and invest in that coin as well. So yeah, there's a lot of confusion. So Chiyu, you and the government has got a lot of education to do, and you know education takes time. Yeah. Now, speaking of governments, is the government actually taking cryptocurrency regulation, especially on its exchanges, very seriously? Because I don't know, on one hand they say crypto or blockchain especially, and cryptos will render government's role irrelevant. It would disrupt government. It would make central banks irrelevant even. How true is that, or is that false? You know, do they need to exist side by side, or is the government playing a losing battle trying to regulate this unregulatable phenomenon called blockchain on currency? Chiyo.
I really like this question, and I think a lot of when I enter this space, there are a lot of so-called pluralists, which is called CryptoPunk. Yeah, I think some of them they believe this, right? They have this belief, but I think if you take a step back right now, you're gonna see how this has evolved. This industry has evolved, and the China right now also so depends so heavily and push this initiative so hard on blockchain. We can know that this is not going to be true, right? It's just like knife, right? If you give it to a chef, right, they will cook delicious food for you, right? But if you give it to a murderer, then we can't imagine what will happen next, right? So it's a tool. How to use it, how the government will use it, it really depend on them. And when we discuss in the CBDC and we discuss in the sovereign or the country level, right, it's so exciting, right? It's a future that we cannot foresee. It's the efficiency and the productivity that's going to be heightened through this blockchain technology being incorporated into the government level, country level, right? In terms of trade financing, the trade settlement, it's really blow your mind. A lot of things you think that we need to wait. This new way, we have this jargon called settlement. All those are all going digital fully, and it's not require waiting. It's just a flip of second. Billions and trillions kind of trade. It's just done that flickering of fingers. It's so impressive. Yeah.
So okay, good. Governments right now, you said cryptos, they are neutral. They are neither good nor bad. Okay, it's up to how you use it. And of course, responsible governments, rather than ignoring it, they would try to at least play with it and try and sort of juggle and run around a bit. China is doing that. Malaysia is doing that. China has launched its own currency. Malaysia is regulating the exchanges, not having its own currency. So you see different approaches to crypto. Now, we are going to link it towards the end of our program. One last question to the two of you. Then after that, JC, I want your parting words. COVID-19, how has it affected, if at all, on cryptocurrency and its trading? What trends can you see? You go first, QI, this time. I'm going to let the young lady end.
Okay. Dato, just to understand your question fairly again, you mean that any words that I want to comment on this COVID, is it?
People, no, the thing is, sorry, let me rephrase. They say that COVID-19 is an accelerator. Okay, it accelerates things. If you're going to die, I'm going to accelerate your death, right? If you have not adopted any form of digitalization in retail, so when the MCO or lockdowns take place, it's just going to accelerate your death. You're going to close shop because no one's coming to your shop. And it's also an accelerator because it accelerates e-commerce and digitalization of some sort. Okay, so therefore,
I think
accelerates e-commerce. But what happens in the world of investments, right? In MCO,
right.
So any changes in trends? Do people shift away from stock markets towards crypto? What is your view?
I think, you know, Dato, this is really a brilliant question as usual. I want to share, you know, we can even refer to recently Jack Ma also shared that for the past internet digitalization, it's just an enhancement to the business, right? But now it's about necessity, right? It's a necessity. It's not just enhancement, it's essential. Without this digitalization, without internet, the business can't grow, right? And this is a fact. If we you know, if next week if MCO is ended, we can just go and see most of the traditional physical shop, they suffer badly. Just talking about a year, we are talking about only 2 months or 3 months time, suffer a lot. The kind of devastated loss is really, you know, it's not substantial. It's really very significant that we are looking at here. And for the past, if you see a lot of elders, they are taking a very procrastinate approach to internet banking, to e-wallet. Right now, they are so eager because without this, their life, you know, just feels stopped. You know,
correct. But we can trade online. We can trade online. Okay, for stock markets, the same way as we can trade online for your crypto.
Yeah.
Right. So perhaps I want to angle. Yeah, you say something first before I move on to JC. Please, QI.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I think we are getting there, right? So I think when, you know, everyone is staying at home, you know, they have nothing to do, and we can see for maybe this also explain why for the past 2 to 3 weeks or even 1 month, our Malaysian market from one of the worst performing stock exchange become one of the best, right, in South Asia or even Asia. Because everyone is now trading, you know, they have nothing to do, they force themselves to look at the news and, you know, find a lot of trading ideas, and they involve actively in the stock market. But now here is the interesting thing, right? Because when the things get expensive, right, it's best to diversify your risk, right? I think that's where we are coming to the next, where cryptocurrency, you know, with a very similar trading platform like a stock market, can be your best option to consider and diversify your risk, right? I think that's the key idea. And, you know, back to, you know, the first angle I want to share is that when the world is shifting to a very digitalization era, it's very important for investors to look into digitalization business, and, you know, they are already very prepared and have a very strong root in this. I think the reward definitely won't be disappointing. Right.
Thank you, QY. So now back to what you said earlier, JC. You know what you said? You said crypto is volatile, it's risky, it goes up and down. But I think after the CMO or during the CMCO, you can find the stock market being pretty volatile as well. You have got some very, okay, I would say unsurprising winners, the rubber guys, you know. We have seen Top Glove going through the roof, Supermax, Harta Lega, and the works, right? Hackstar, all dealing with all this going off the roof, and where's the rest? They sort of crash. But is crypto right now the more stable, long-term kind of investments that you see now, that your basket or portfolio has changed? I'm not sure. What's your view, JC?
the volatility of cryptocurrency is so much different from stock market, I would say, because actually if you are in stock market, at least you know that no matter how far a stock market a counter can go, they actually have a limit up and a limit down. But for cryptocurrency, there's no limit at all. So if you are long enough in a crypto trading journey, there are many times that a coin's price can down 3,000% or it's like down to zero, and then within a second it will go up again. So that is the real surprise. If you wake up the next day and then you see that your portfolio is like from maybe 1 million to zero, that is very scary. So this is the volatility compared to stock market. But but for stock market, right, because the problem is stock market is only operating on weekday, and then after weekday, after the local market KRSE, then you can trade US market. Then after US market on the weekend, you can actually trade crypto as well, because cryptocurrency is 24/7 and 365 days, so they have no rest day. So maybe during this MCO, I think the only fastest way to make money and also without disruption is through trading. So whether you trade Forex or whether you trade cryptocurrency or whether you trade stock market, that's the easiest way for you to stay at home and make more money. So I think that's the reason that many people, many new people, traders come into whether stock market or any other investment portfolio. And cryptocurrency compared to stock market is definitely not so much on demand yet in Malaysia. That's what I see lah. Because for stock markets, you can see it's like almost more than half of Malaysians started to go into stock market already. But for cryptocurrency, for the Malaysian, probably the elder generation, they are not so convinced with this crypto yet. But the new generation, they are very much into cryptocurrency because maybe they are born with the internet world, so they are more comfortable to trade cryptocurrency, and they are more into like YouTube and Twitter and all, which the elder generation not really have access into YouTube and all, so they don't have much information. When you are lacking of information and knowledge, so you will lack of confidence in trading something that involve your own real money. Yeah.
Right. So that probably explains why you're an early adopter. Thank you very much, JC. Those are really, really positive comments and advice for the investing or potential investors out there. It is actually right now a complementary role, to your portfolio of investments. It allows you to trade 24/7, but be careful because it doesn't really have fundamentals, unlike stock markets where you have access to annual reports. You have got the so-called financial history. You can have all kinds of other ways in which you can sort of help you invest. So, but nevertheless, it's here to stay. The young are in, and it's best to trade them on a bludgeoning and potentially safe, okay? And it's a very safe exchange, which is tokenized. And I wish you all the best, QY, as you continue to take tokenized exchange to greater heights, bringing in more coins, making the environment safer, working with the government to continue to spread the good word about crypto exchanges. I wish you all the best, and thank you so much, QY and JC, for sharing your experience and expertise for us tonight. I know I've learned quite a lot about cryptocurrency and its investments vis-a-vis other forms of investments, and I hope that our viewers also learned something, and I'm sure they did. So thank you so much. Time has flown. We are here together for almost an hour and 15 minutes right now for a very, very engaging and interesting topic. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We have Ms. Joceline Leong, a serial investor, real estate consultant and trader. And we have the founder, CEO, and CTO of Tokenize Exchange, Hong Chi Yu. Thank you so much. My name is Bruce. Please join me tomorrow night, 8:30, and we are going to be talking about the MACC Act, the new act that came in force 4 days ago. And I'm going to be with a lawyer, Chong Ki Kiong, who also is an authority on the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Act. He wrote a book on it. He'll be joining me at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, 5th of June. So please join me. And I wish all of you good night and keep safe. Thank you. Thanks, QI.